Hello, everybody. We are back here. EU qualifiers about to get started. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I am Maut. With me is Sind and Draskyl. It's bright and early for us here, folks, but we are in with our next series of the EU playoffs, our first series of the EU playoffs. It is OG versus Kinguin. How are you boys doing this morning?
I need that water.
You need it back?
I need it.
Okay.
I'm going to need that water.
All right, we're good. I'm in good spirits. You know, we have a kind of an awkward schedule, but
Yeah.
it's some exciting Dota today, so looking
I was
forward
gonna
to
steal
it.
your phone without-
That's fine. You just snag it. I should have left it open for you. Did you guys finish your food?
No.
I didn't get to either.
No.
I didn't even get to bring up my LaCroix.
I actually wasn't even paying attention when I was in the kitchen because I was talking to Conrad, and Blaze comes in and he's like, "You have 30 seconds," and I'm like, "Oh." So I just, ran over here. And sat down.
You called me over and you're like, you need to get into the lobby, and I thought I was going to get in the lobby, go back over, grab some food. That did not happen. They're like, all right, you're going in 30 seconds. Great.
Yep.
Good start to the day.
I got half a double-double for breakfast. Not bad.
Yeah. Did you even get some fries at least? Or?
I got a little bit.
Oh,
How
that's
was
good.
your Kokona experience?
It's different from my usual breakfast, I would say.
Oh yeah,
But,
I would hope so.
Same.
Yeah.
I could have had. They have cereal over there. They have breakfast stuff, but
that is true.
In-N-Out is too good to pass up. I think even at this
It
early
is.
stage in the morning.
It is. And the important thing is it was protein style, so no buns. Can't have that much carbs in the morning, otherwise you just get tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, but you didn't do that.
I didn't do
there
that
weren't
either.
there weren't that many of those, I think.
You weren't kidding about needing that water, huh?
I'll need another one, Andy.
Oh, you're asking me. I'm gonna have to bring you one during the game. Okay.
Ben Q is asking you to fix your
Okay.
name, Sind. Unfortunately, you can't be Lenny Face in lobby.
Are you kidding me?
I know
Doesn't
how
it
much
change
you
your
like
display name anyway?
It
Because you
should.
Were...
If you're, I think it does if you have like a pro name. I'm pretty sure because that's what it does for when I'm casting with other pros like Brax or something like that.
I've
it always
never,
changes his name.
I've never had to change my name before, like in a lobby.
Toby's already flaming you. Nice, excellent, good start to the day.
Standard.
All right, well, let's talk about the games a little bit. We have a 15-minute pre-show before we get into the next game, which will be at 2 our time. It is OG versus Kinguin. OG have not played a game over 35 minutes. I think that we talked about that in the car.
I think so.
And they have not lost.
Yes, they are currently undefeated, and there is a pretty strong chance it's going to stay that way after this first series, I would say, against Kinguin. They're the heavy favorites, I would say.
No, I'm not gonna dispute that.
Yeah.
I would be shocked actually if Kinguin were able to take a game. The one I want to see, obviously, Win and Rain are going to be playing later, but if there is a matchup where OG and Win and Rain play each other, I think that's probably the best chance that a team's going to have to take a game off of them. So, and even then, there's not much time to adapt between the group stage where you're playing every single team, and then you have to go back and prep for a team that you've only seen draft and be at once. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough for everyone to. It's basically OG have the target on their back. Can anyone beat them?
Yeah. It's the OG gauntlet. We've seen... there's definitely, even though they've only played best of ones, there's some very clear drafting patterns. They rate, for example, Honest Ember Spirit really, really high. They've had it, I think, 4 games in the regionals. It looks like
5, actually.
4. That one's an open game, right?
Oh,
That's 9 days
yeah,
ago.
you're right, actually. My
So
bad.
4 times in the regionals. They've had Thompson on a lot of Zeus. Actually, only 2 Zeuses, 2 Invokers, a Pugna, a Windranger, and a Monkey King.
Yeah, he played Pugna also in the
He
Opens,
played-
too.
He did play Monkey
He played
once.
all of his trademark heroes.
The one
actually.
game, by the way, we said they didn't have a game longer than 35 minutes. I need to correct that. On the other stream, there was a game against Kinguin that was 1 hour and 3 minutes long
Oh, there was.
that we
Oh,
didn't
damn.
see.
Maybe I didn't play that. Maybe
That
I
was
didn't
the
catch
Monkey
that
King
one.
game that Thompson played, I believe.
Yeah,
We're
because
gonna
I
check it
didn't
out.
see him play Monkey, so that must have been the game I wasn't here.
So Kinguin was clearly their biggest challenge so far.
Yeah, so
Okay.
maybe this is not going to be as easy in the series as we thought. And also, Kinguin have been around for a while. They're a very good team. They've made it through a lot of DPC events pretty recently, too. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. They had to buy a Rapier on Thompson in that game in order to finish it off, it looks like. So.
I can see here why that game might have been tricky. OG opened Skywrath Ember, and they got a first phase Nyx into that, and then into
Ooh,
Vance.
yeah,
And that
that's
is like the
tough.
most godlike Nyx opener you can have. So Kassar probably ruined their game quite a lot.
Yeah, and it looks like he was playing with Peytos. Nick's Pangolier off lane, it looks like, which is
Yep.
interesting. He actually got a Hex on that Nyx Assassin game, so that was a really long game, hour-minute long game. We've had mostly quick games on our stream, but there have been a few long ones. The 80-minute game between Alliance and Blinkpool was another big one. They had a pretty unfortunate end to their tournament. You know, the first day they had 2 really long games, but
I thought it was really unfortunate for Alliance because the second day they seemed to show up. Like
Yes.
their players, they communicated a lot better. The drafts were solid, and they played way better than they did on day 1. So
Yeah.
maybe that was just who they played against on day 1. I'm not so sure. But hopefully they can bring some good games in the future.
yeah, and that's a team with some really highly skilled individual players. Mike and Sanya is another big one, I think also. Qualifiers as well, obviously. Some really good players on the Alliance team. I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to stay together, especially with Loda as coach. But
it's some highly skilled players, but at the same time, I would say in this kind of in this kind of format, multiple of their players are relatively unexperienced. They're just very individually skilled. Qualifier has played a lot of Dota 2 tournaments, but as for the rest, they can't really boast the same amount of games played. So it's a new team. A lot of things can happen. Day one, maybe they were nervous, maybe they were stressed out, maybe something just went wrong. You can try to overanalyze it, but it's the bottom line that really matters, right? They had a couple games they should have won, no matter how you look at it, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And in best of ones, that hurts.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about the BO1s. But you're absolutely right about the maybe inexperience. A lot of former Han players in Sanya, Mike as well, obviously. So there's some transition to be made. They've been in Dota for a while now, but still, it's their first big tournament, first big qualifier. But now we're focusing on the playoffs, OG versus Kinguin. Then the other matchup, snydereN versus Blinkpool, I kind of want to get your opinions on that particular matchup, because I think that'll be a pretty close match. I do think snydereN probably have the edge based off of their laning phase and how they've played recently, but
I don't know. Sind and I were talking about it on the way here, and it's like, I feel that series could go 2-0 either way.
Yeah.
It could also be a 2-1 either way.
Those are the options, yeah.
My point is that Blinkpool, I feel, were the same as Alliance, and on day one, they didn't really have the most solid performance. And then on day two, they seem to get a lot better, and it seems like their cohesion is growing every single time they play. And if they can continue that kind of momentum, we could very easily see it be a Blinkpool 2-0, in my opinion. And I think this qualifier especially is super draft oriented. Like every single game, I see a glaring weakness on one team that usually gets exploited, like one core being too slow on this team and then the enemy team playing too fast. It's pretty much OG's staple during the entire qualifiers. They just play fast all the time. And when you have one team who's doing something very successfully and everyone else is trying to imitate them, I'm not saying that they are, but it seems like their style is very effective. All these teams, I think, are going to try to adapt to it and try to just, okay, we want to play this. And I think Blinkpool will have very experienced captain in Misery, and I think he could probably imitate that.
And you're absolutely right about them getting better after the first day. They played Singularity, they lost that first match. Then they played OG, which was a tough matchup. They picked that Misery Sand King. He didn't get the earliest Blink Dagger in that game, but then they won 4 straight after that point.
Yep.
One of them was really tough. That was the Alliance one.
Yeah, the 58-minute game.
Almost an hour.
Yep. The Undying. They had Ember PL as well. That game was pretty back and forth.
And as it turned out, that game was actually extremely important, because if Alliance would have won that, they would have been 4-3. And Blinkpool would have probably ended up on 4-3 as well. Or, yeah, most likely. They have an unplayed game, but I think they would have won that one.
That's right. There was that last game between them and Final Trap.
So we could have had a tiebreaker if that game went to Alliance, we would have, and everything else in isolation went the same way, we would have had a 3-way tie.
And they had a pretty early advantage in that game, too, with the Nature's Prophet and the Morphling. We talked about that game a lot, actually, with the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, we've mentioned it multiple times. It stands out to me because I feel like it was probably the hardest loss that any team had in this qualifier, and it ended up being very important. So it's a shame for Alliance that it happens, but that's how it goes. Best of ones, you got to show up for every single game.
Yeah. That was the game Misery ended up getting a Radiance Hex on his Naga Siren.
Dude, he was insanely big that game.
That early Meteor Hammer came up big in multiple points.
I want to say that Hex just ended the game.
Yeah, it did.
He got like a clutch Hex on someone top lane, and then the game was just over after that point.
Yeah, he was huge. And then, of course, his cores were also huge. They did end up finishing the Ags on Sux, although I didn't think it mattered. He was the Undying, but it didn't matter in that game. He was like 56 minutes. That's 2 minutes before the game ended, so whatever. But anyway, so I'm very excited for both of these matches. The Blinkpool and snydereN one hopefully is really good. I don't know. We talked a lot about the Ember Spirit for OG, and I guess just in general, is that now going to be first ban, first pick kind of material for these teams, or are they still kind of figuring it out here?
That's a hard question. I think Ember has shown that it is a very strong hero because of its flexibility. You know, OG obviously run it in the safe lane, and they can run it mid. But I think that they would prefer to actually run it in the safe lane because of Topson's hero pool. All his heroes are very EXP driven. So I feel like you have to pick which one of those two between Ana and Topson that you want to have their hero pool in the actual game. And I think that Ember is more important to their lineup than what Topson plays, because Topson was playing heroes that you would consider not meta until you see this qualifier. And then you go, okay, these heroes are actually working, but it's also because of the style that they're playing. So if you take away Ana's aggressive potential during the mid game, Topson might feel, more pressure he might have to do something that he's not used to doing. Because right now, every single lane matchup he has been fine. Every single game, he's had nothing but time to spam chat wheel and just run around and just do whatever the hell he
Wait
wanted.
for it.
So, for me, I think the Ember is important. I think you want to think about banning it.
OG probably also has this mentality that when you pick Ember early, it's likely to get counterpicked in the mid-roll. So you actually feel, which is in a way a complete 180 from how it used to be, but it feels safer in the safe lane.
Yes.
In the past, you would get like run over in your safe lane relatively often. Now you put him with a strong lane support, let the lane play out, get his level 6, and from then on out, he can start dominating his lane and the map. If you put him mid, there's so many matchups that he loses really hard and needs help in. But I still do think that OG, if they see the right opportunity, they will put it on tops and mid if it works, because he definitely plays a good Ember.
Yeah.
And it's under the condition that the carry that they want is an Ana hero and not a Thompson hero. So it's a bit, it's very specific, but it could happen.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see if they do decide to take away that Ember Spirit, if they want to go for a different route. I want to go back to your point about Thompson's hero pool in this tournament so far. I think if you talked to people before this tournament and said Quaspex Invoker, or even a couple months before, they'd probably call you crazy. They'd be like, what are you talking about? But Thompson has played it pretty amazingly. And he's had a lot of good matchups, too, to be fair.
A lot of it is the development of the patch. The game gets really fast, and in fast games, Quaspex Invoker is just good. He doesn't really have too many matchups where he just straight up gets crushed. And regardless, even if he did, all he has to do is hit like 8 or 9. He runs to a lane with Phase Boots Earn, and he gets a kill. Or he stops somebody from pushing because he drains their entire mana pool and they have to walk back to base.
Yeah.
I think those things are what make it so frustrating to play against, because even if he doesn't get a kill, he's still causing pressure, and you can't get the towers that you want. You can't pressure Ana if he's in this safe lane playing something like Ember, for example. So it seems like those heroes complement each other very well and how OG likes to play the game.
So we are going to get into the game in just a second, but for now, we have our next member of this cast joining us. It is Toby Wan. Toby, how the hell are you, bud?
How the hell?
Toby?
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent impression. Well done, Sim.
Well done.
Crikey! I'm good.
Oh, God.
I think he would take offense to that.
Yeah.
I think you would.
We'll get him
Am I?
involved.
Do I
That's
have
how he takes
crocodiles?
offense.
Okay.
My job here
I'm
is-
good with it.
Oh, we seem to be having some slight
Some technical
technical
difficulties.
Technical
with Toby.
issues.
Toby
that
here,
was the
though.
greatest
You're going to be casting
introduction
with him
I
for
ever
this
had.
series.
This series. We'll be here with the draft
Greatest.
panel.
And you will be on camera.
Oh, God, you shouldn't have told them.
No one will be on camera.
Oh, that's right. Exactly. Nobody's on camera.
I would prefer to
Plays
just
on
have Sim
camera.
sitting here by himself. You know, just you. We're in the other room, just still on the mic, obviously, but you have to sit here by yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Win-win.
Perfect. That's exactly where and we could just be eating our In-N-Out, too, while we're just sitting over there.
Yeah, okay.
That's true.
I just
Now that's a
love how quickly
just
I'm
have a
replying.
Maybe I could do
microphones
that
up.
during the cast as well. What do you think? Do you think I could pull that off?
I've seen
Depends on how sensitive the mics are. You gotta go fast, right? You gotta like flip it up. And
I've seen people, like, whenever I cast with Brax and he's, like, we're doing remote coverage, I can always hear him eating. So it never works for him. That's, like, the worst thing. He never puts his mic up.
Oh god.
And he always, you can hear him chewing, and, like, I'll ask a question, and I won't know that he's eating, and he'll just respond and be like, oh, yeah, it's real great, Ma. It's just a good point there. I'm just like, Brax, come on, man. You can't do that to me, bud.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
If it interrupts the flow of the cast, it's not cool.
To be fair, this is, like, SCA games that had, like, 60 viewers during the Super Major, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's like a quad cast, like we've been doing throughout the qualifiers, and one person, like Kevin,
Like
was sitting
Kevin,
on the
yeah.
couch eating, it's like doesn't really matter because you have 3 other people to fill the space.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's just you and Brax, what the hell is wrong with him?
I mean, you know Brax. That's just kind of how he is, to be fair.
It's not okay.
I know. it's not
Sabotaging.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make excuses for him, and I shouldn't be. You're right. I should get on his case more, Andy.
You should. You should yell at him. I'll yell at him.
I mean, how many times have you two eaten on a cast?
I don't think I've ever eaten on a cast before.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I've eaten like
Probably a
seconds
few
before we
hundred,
go
give or
live.
take.
a few hundred. Jesus.
No, it's weird, right? Because you don't know, like, if you're doing an online cast, you don't know if the person's actually eating or not. If they're doing it,
If
stealthily.
they're doing it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're just talking, and you expect the handoff to happen,
This-
and you got a mouthful of food, and you're just like, I can't. I just can't. And you just stay silent. That's what I would do. I would just not say anything.
I'm gonna be
Technical issues? Maybe
Yeah.
Toby's eating right now.
Just
We're
pretend
having
you're
technical
lagging, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't talk. Just you start cutting in and
Yeah.
out like randomly.
I'm going under a tunnel. I'll
Sorry,
call you
can't
back.
Hear you.
I'm casting from
I
my
wanna
car.
be eating.
Yeah.
I wanna
I'm losing my
diet.
4G that I need to cast Dota 2. It's not working out. I'm not gonna lie. In those SCA games, I was also eating a few Skittles here and there. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. I let
So
everybody down.
unprofessional. Look at He even brought his button up for today. That's
Yeah.
how you know he's serious. He's
ready
bringing
to
his
go.
A game.
I mean business.
I
But you
brought-
can't see that I'm wearing jorts under the table. But I'll make sure to mention that for everybody.
You'll see it later. I think you'll be on couch at some point. No, wait, you're doing a lot of these games today.
I'm not on couch today, actually.
Oh man, you can get away with the jorts. Well, you've gotten away with the jorts anyways, but
Somehow I'm still part of this.
somehow.
I don't think like the wearing like the jeans or whatever. I guess shorts are a bit different, but you know, if you just wear jeans
we
and
gotta
a
follow the
dress-up
book of
shirt and you're just
EG.
sitting at a desk, who cares? You know, when you go to an event, even you're just walking around. It's like you have a nice shirt on, but you have jeans on. People don't like judge you. It's like, how dare you not wear slacks?
Yeah. They better not.
Yeah, I would. Hope
I don't
not.
think anyone's ever been like, why are you not more dressed up?
Well, I mean, if you're on camera, then it's a different story. I guess, like at some big event or something like that. don't
I mean,
know.
Owen wears jeans at TI out sometimes.
They just don't. They don't
I think
tell
I've seen
you.
him do that at least once.
It's true.
They don't tell you,
Well,
but they're all thinking it.
That's the thing.
Ah.
If you're not on, if you're at the caster desk, nine times out of 10, they're not going to show your lower half of your body. Like if you're
Yeah.
at a desk like this, you know, you can't even. I'm wearing khakis currently. Nobody can tell.
We're sharing all of these industry
Until we
secrets
go,
right
like-
now. I feel like.
We're gonna go full sports, and they have like those half-standing like tables that
Yeah.
they go at. Then we're gonna have to start wearing slacks. snydereN's still gonna be wearing shorts.
Yeah,
What?
the jorts will come out.
They're gonna be there.
I wear slacks when it's appropriate.
So when is it appropriate then?
When I'm wearing my suit only.
Okay, so full suit is when you wear slacks, but if you're only wearing a shirt, you just wear whatever.
Jeans.
I can respect that.
Yeah, that's
wear
fine.
jeans.
That's a good rule to keep too. I think.
It's that EU look.
But when you wear your full suit, are you one of those people that
I
forgets
see
to
you.
unbutton their blazer when they sit
In
down?
both chats.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I make that is like one
That
thing
triggers
I'm a stickler.
me.
I'm a stickler about that. I that's the first thing I do when I like stand up. I button myself up when I sit down, unbutton it, get ready to go. It's very important. It's like I'm really weird about the weirdest things, to be honest. It's very strange.
Some people would call that like not OCD, but maybe like a mild form. You see something and you're just like that vein in your forehead, just like, why are you doing this? Why are you this way?
Yep, that seems like us in a nutshell. I would say.
I ask myself that every day. Okay, so a bit of an update. It still seems like there is a bit of a tech issue
Yes.
with Toby, and hopefully it won't take long. He said. So
we
he's
have
definitely working on it.
We have most of
And
the players in the lobby too, so we'll be
Fortunately, if Toby's not here, Maut does a great Toby impression and can just imitate him the entire game.
No,
Crikey.
Oi, it's me.
Crikey.
Oi, it's
Crikey.
me, Toby.
Black holer.
My
Okay, never mind, your accent
fucking
is
god.
I know.
Just
Why did you
don't-
put me on the
I-
spot?
I didn't put you on the spot. All right, I kinda
God.
put you on the
You
spot.
definitely
Fuck
put
it.
me on the spot.
You just take every word that ends with A and you make it end with ER, and then you got it. Lunar,
Aw,
Lagunar.
Sin
Tober,
can
joined
suck my dick.
That was nice. Well said, Andy.
My
So we'll
god,
get into the game
Sin.
as soon as possible. We'll have an update for you when we can get it, but we are waiting for our first game, OG versus Kinguin, a BO3, our first of the EU qualifiers. Everything else is BO1.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
think about
always
the
just
BO1
sound
group
like-
stages? Are you a fan? Would you prefer
Just
BO2?
ripping on
I
me
mean,
when I
from
can't
a-
defend myself.
From an
What
entertainment
a
perspective, I think it's
Danish
cool
thing to do.
watch BO1s because you have some of the time you have diversity in what people are picking. I guess this qualifier, the EU one, there were a lot of overlap in heroes. Saw a lot of Magnus, saw a lot of Ember, stuff like that. But it's always interesting to me to see how teams think in a vacuum, as opposed to okay, we're going into this best of 3, we're up 1 game or down 1 game. How do we adjust? I really enjoy the whole. Okay, this is an isolated game. Let's just play what we think is good.
Yeah.
It's a logistics thing, right? In theory, if you want the most accurate representation of how strong teams are, you play more games.
Yes.
It's always going to be like that. A best of 5 is more representative than a best of 3 is more representative than a best of 1. But if you have all of these qualifiers and you start playing 2-game series or even best of 3s against all the other teams, the qualifiers are going to be really long.
Yeah.
And you have 4 qualifiers in a row, so unless you want to spread the qualifiers, okay, that's very, very awkward.
Somebody-
listening
I
to
know who that is.
Toby just making noise in my ears.
Is he here? It's Toby. That was beautiful. Welcome in.
Toby is freed!
That was horrible.
Freedom!
Welcome in, man. How are you, bud?
I am fantastic.
Oh, nice.
I've been enjoying the mockery that has come from that panel
Damn, he heard it.
towards all Australians, mainly
All
the generic.
Australians.
I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm not the greatest Danish person that insults someone who cannot talk back because he's muted.
He got you there.
No, I got him.
Oh, did you?
I
Did
feel like
you-
I'm the
did-
winner in that one.
Okay, Sin, did you get one important thing? It's called closed shoes.
Do I have closed
Oh,
shoes?
boy.
I'm wearing socks right now.
He's got the socks on. We're not allowed
Actually,
to
that's
have
good.
shoes or sandals.
Yeah, you gotta
on
take your shoes off. But did you wear shoes here?
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
confirm he did actually wear shoes here.
Then you have changed, snydereN. You've changed.
It's been many years since I didn't wear shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's been a big thing about you, I feel like.
I don't think I ever noticed.
Apparently,
Like-
apparently everybody cares so much more about it than I do.
Yeah.
Who is it that never? Is it Envy that never wears shoes? He always wears sandals.
He wears
Yeah.
slippers.
slippers
mainly.
or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
He wears whatever he likes.
The
Whatever
feet
makes him
fashion in Dota is very
comfortable.
important currently. Hey, we're loading. Oh, we're not actually going to connect, are we?
Yes, we are. Here we go.
All
Wait,
right.
what?
Are we?
How do you?
Did we make it? Nope. Unfortunate. I think it was one of the broadcasters. I'm pretty
It
sure.
always is. Yesterday, I think it was the Chinese broadcasters who weren't connecting or something like that.
It's
Toby
the-
didn't load. I'm afraid we're gonna have to kick him.
Mm.
Maut, you down? You
I
down to
mean,
cast?
I'm here to obs, folks. That's what I'm doing. Oh wait, I shouldn't have told anybody. Oh.
We already.
It doesn't really matter. Like,
I mean, did you see that game I did yesterday? The last game of the day?
observers get credit when they're there. So like JJ and Webos and Scrift, they all get notoriety when they obs. Why shouldn't you? Unless you don't want it because you didn't do a good job.
That's
Perch
usually the issue.
made sure to make as much fun of you as possible yesterday.
Yeah, he
that
really
cast,
was.
he
Yeah.
actually just destroyed you.
Look, it's
Forget
okay
it.
though because you got coffee, right?
Yeah.
You got well, apparently you didn't get that much sleep, but you got coffee, all right? So you got that going for you.
I'm good. Let's just put it that way. It's
All
going to
right.
be fine. You feel free to flame me, Sind, if I miss a kill.
I'm just watching my own camera.
That's fair. I'm not going to get flamed except by chat, so we're good to go, I guess.
If you'd like it, I can. If that's something you're into, you like some sort of verbal abuse. That's your thing.
You make me sound like a sicko. I am not into that, but thank
Okay.
you for the opportunity, though.
All right, Toby, stop talking. I hope you're still here.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm
He's just letting us.
He's enjoying the banter.
Yeah.
I'm having a great
Enjoy.
time not being the one being flamed for camera work. So
Nice.
yeah.
I got it, boys. That's
Just a
all
heads
made.
up,
I-
though, Toby will be doing in-game camera on Dota TV. So.
That's so you say like if you don't want to watch Maut's camera, go and watch
No.
inside the
It's if
game.
you're watching in Dota TV, then make sure you flame the appropriate guy.
we gotta get it straight.
I'm covering our bases here.
It's very important.
Yeah, I'll just be zooming in on cosmetics the entire game. That's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
especially
let's
if
try again.
that new Darkseer Iron Shell comes out.
Oh, that
which
looks
now basically just it does it. Does it
I-
really?
I like it.
Does it?
I think it's cool.
Does it really?
It looks like something out of a Flash game where you need to like dodge polygons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bullet hell kind of thing.
Yeah, is it which shape are they? The shells that go outward, like when you're standing toward and the shell is like connecting with the creep. The normal ion shell is a beam basically. It
Sort
draws.
of. Yeah. It like pulls away
But
from
this
the.
one
directional.
is it triangles that it draws
I
between
haven't
you
seen
and the
it
target?
enough
I think
to-
it's triangles.
We have to get a
it
dark
looks like a
Souls game.
star. It's just a star.
Is it? It's not pentagons, is it?
We're gonna have to get a dark.
I
Souls
actually
game to
haven't
figure
seen it in game yet. So.
out. Yeah, me neither. So you guys are just
Yeah.
talking about shapes, and I'm not sure what's happening, to be honest. So.
I'm not sure what shapes are.
Yeah.
I never took geometry.
All right, we got a
Yeah.
draft.
Do we?
Exciting
We
stuff.
do.
We
I
do
hope we
have
get
a
to see it on
Woo!
the stream soon, but I'll quickly go over what OG has chosen to do because this is very special actually for any team really. They have first phase banned Pangolier and Brood as the first two, and Kinguin have banned standard stuff.
I think this is a from OG. It makes sense to open this way, right? Because you're eliminating a potential cheese just straight off the bat, and they probably consider themselves a better BO3 team than Kinguin. At least if I were OG, I would. So why not go into it just banning a hero that they have comfortability with, and it's something that could just throw a wrench in your entire game plan.
If you feel like you have a free ban, this is something I really like when you feel like, okay, there's only two heroes we really need to ban in the first phase. You ban a hero that you would need to ban later. So you buy yourself a ban, basically. By banning this Brood now, they don't have to worry about it later. And I was gonna say, Kinguin are actually gonna give away Io. So this is definitely a plan they've had. Instant counterpick, Phoenix Void. Okay, big team fight.
and Chet is still available, by the way. Not to mention the Ember Spirit that we talked about previously for OG. So there's a lot of really cool, really interesting heroes still available in this draft right now.
I think they'll get Ember. Still. Ember or maybe Morph?
That's a hard one to go for, man. It's not like they played Ember out at like 4 out of their like however many games they
I've
played
never
in their
seen it
group
before
stage.
for OG.
Yeah,
It could be
yeah, I don't-
interesting.
I don't know
What
about now. They got
were-
the IO. Like everything is different. Everything has changed.
Or
Yeah.
on his other heroes, he played Ember 4 times. He played
PL.
PL once.
Yeah.
What was his other hero?
I wish I could tell you off the top of my head, but I'm currently using this to look at the draft of this computer.
All right. I do think Ember is great though because he is a natural Ion disc buyer, and I think that's a super value item against Void.
Oh yeah, it's making you good against Void for sure. Absolutely. But I like where Sim was going with this because IO Morphling, which we saw Alliance do a lot recently, I think that's a really good combination. But plus, I mean, like, okay, they're just gonna go in for Ember right there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So this is this is obviously very interesting. I think this is the first time OG even gets IO this whole tournament. So Kinguin go into a best of 3, and they're like, we can try something here in game 1. Let's see how well they run their Wisp. Let's just say Yahoo 4 times in a row. And they take a really strong team fight approach. This is very telegraphed from Kinguin what they're trying to do. Okay, you guys are going to run Wisp. We're going to 5-man fight you, and we're going to have the stronger team fight. There's multiple approaches to solving that for OG. You can either try to match them in fights and use Wisp as like a save against Chrono, or you play more of a slightly split approach where you just push out waves, or, well, that's something Void is absolute garbage at unless he has Mask of Battle Fury. He can't really do that, so...
I like the idea of them just sticking to what they've been doing. Just pick another fast-paced core and just run at Kinguin because Void is still a cooldown centric
Long
hero.
core, yeah.
You can definitely punish that.
Good Konkaban did their homework, for sure, on that one.
Oh, Anisha's Conk is legit.
It would have been a great pick this game with these two. It's one of the few melee heroes that I really like with Void, because he's kind of a ranged hero, actually, with his spells, so the synergy is still there.
I think your combo is like equivalent to Queen's Burst inside of a Chrono anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's also hard to just pass up Rum and being how good it is in team fights right now.
5 seconds.
So
Magnus
there's
back.
actually not been a Chen touched yet, although that could happen in the next with these bans or the next pick as well.
It's okay for both teams, to be honest.
It's true, it is possible, because on OG, Notel can definitely play IO, so Jarex can play Chen. Often your IO player is also your Chen player. You see that, for example, with Alliance. Taiga plays both. More like specialist position 4s. But a 5 IO can be pulled off, so we'll see. Jarex also plays IO, however, so they have 2 players they can put it on. I still have a feeling they will put it on Jarex and give it more priority and give Notel a true 5. But we'll see. We'll see what the choice is here. Gonna be banning DP and Brewmaster, and very quick pick again from Kinguin. They're gonna get NS. Not sure how I feel about this one.
I think they just want a strong lane, I guess, because I don't really like the synergy with the Void at all. He doesn't really offer anything inside of Chrono. And like based on the fights, it's going to be difficult for him, I think, to get to the target he wants a lot of the time just based on what OG have opened with. And now they see it, so they can adapt by picking Lockdown and just keep the NS away from like the IO because it's probably his priority target.
5
I'm
seconds.
guessing, yeah, the logic here is they get a guy who bites Urn and just goes on Wisp in fights, and that's what they want NS to do.
But the movement speed thing with IO now, where he just moves the same speed as the Ember Spirit, even if it gets voided. So there's always that too, if he tries to go onto the IO.
Yeah, if OG pick a really high movement speed hero, IO can actually avoid NS in fights. But then he has to be tethered to that guy.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
this is definitely taking them some time, though. Might have caught them off guard, but here comes Skywrath Mage.
OG's turn.
They are picking so fast,
My God.
Kinguin.
They
They
have, like-
haven't used a second of bonus time yet.
Yeah, 210 still. That's actually kind of insane.
They're trying to pressure OG from a time perspective. That is a legitimate strategy if you are very prepared and know what you want.
I don't really know if it's going to work against OG, though. Like, just the idea of picking fast so that you get flustered, I don't think that's a thing for OG.
It may at least fluster up Seb. Like, most of the heroes that Seb's played this entire tournament, 4 out of the 5 bans of Kinguin are against him.
Yep.
Like, the only thing he's got left right now that he's played in this tournament is Centaur.
That's
It's not a bad Centaur game, to be honest.
It's okay, but
Oh wow. Are
That's
they going to do Tops and Ember now? Because
think they
picked up
might.
PL. This is what you were talking about pregame.
yeah, they might just do that. Put Ana mid on PL, or vice versa. I don't think Thompson really likes PL that much, but we'll see. It could be that they still will run on the Ember. I definitely think Ana is a better Ember than Thompson. For me, Ana is one of the absolute best on that hero. But you look at the big picture of how the game's going to play out and if it makes sense, and then you see, because their true carry hero is, of course, the Phantom Lancer.
I'm still wondering though, like, is it really is the true carry? Because the way you see Anna playing the safe lane is very similar to the way you played the mid. They just give him more farm priority early on, and then plays these ganking roamers, which the Ember Spirit's able to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Ember and IO just go wherever the hell they want to and put the PL in the mid. If the matchup is good.
Yep, they definitely can do that.
5
They're kind of
seconds.
missing.
They don't have last pick.
I feel like OG are missing a guy who. It's not the end of the world if he gets chronoed. Because these
Yeah.
two heroes that they have right now don't want to get chronoed. And what Kinguin managed to do with the silencer pick is that they're protecting their chrono from relocate. The moment they chrono, they global. And then they focus this guy down with Sunray. So you need some sort of really tanky guy to get chronoed, or you have to find a good way of having vision so you avoid that type of fights where you lose a key core in the beginning.
Most of Vision's taken out with the Beastmaster. Like, Tide or Centaur is probably the last two big ones that OG can go for.
They might go for either of them. I don't think either is that
10
good though.
seconds remaining.
I feel
What
like
else is left to say?
Tide isn't up
5
OG's
seconds
alley
remaining.
either.
Where they need some kind of stun to come from it. That's kind of been the critical part of the Seb offlane.
I still think Centaur is okay. Like, if that's his hero pool, then it's not the worst.
They don't have a lot of time to think about it.
Dire team pick.
Wow.
Oh, that's me.
Okay.
That is...
Budget Centaur.
And then Underlord.
This kind of looks like a Kinguin team that almost had this draft prepared before the game even began. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like they got 5 heroes that they just wanted really fast. They had 2.5 minutes to think about this Underlord pick, and they used 2 seconds. So, you know, they're ready to rock and roll. So one thing Kinguin definitely have is they have tanky frontline with the Underlord. They have Sunray for him. They've got the vision advantage at nighttime with NS, unless he gets charged, in which case it evens out. That's one of the really nice benefits of a Spirit Breaker. And what I like a lot about the Spirit Breaker pick is low cooldown, high intensity hero, and he is really strong with IO, actually. This duo is no joke in lane to play against. He's playing into 3 melee cores with that hero as well. So, damn, what a Huskar game this could have been. But they didn't know Underlord was getting picked last anyway, so.
No such luck. Andy, your closing thoughts on this draft before we give it over to Toby and Sin?
I still like what OG are doing. They're sticking to their guns. They're playing fast heroes. They're just going to run a Kinguin, and if they don't synergize their ults correctly and get a lot out of like their chrono and their silences, I think OG can run away with this.
Just as I envisaged.
Exactly. All right, somebody's in the bathroom. I guess we'll wait a second here before throwing it over, but...
See, this is what I like. When you're playing with your team, you're playing a really important game, you start the draft, someone just leaves to go to the bathroom, they come back and they're like, thanks for this draft, No Tail. That's not the hero I wanted this game. Why didn't you just pick me Slark? It's like,
flame.
well... Oh, no, I dropped my water bottle on the ground.
Oh, no.
I got it. Oh, no, I dropped it again. Okay, good.
It seems to be pretty common, though, going to the bathroom when your team's
That's my hype
drafting for you.
casting, by the way. Right there.
Excellent play-by-play, Sin.
Thank you.
Really good stuff. All right, there is some all chatting going on, clearly.
At least we know the voice lines work.
Perfect. We're gonna
Made in China.
We realized that as soon as we get into the game because how much they spam it, it's ridiculous, actually.
Come on, it's part of the game now. It's the mindsetting game. You got to get in there, mess with the opposition.
Yes, they are.
Where's the aggressive tip meta?
And it'll be coming soon, that's for sure. But we are going to get into the game. We're going to send it over to Toby and Sin with the cast.
Thanks for the
hi,
throw,
Sin.
Maut. I'm right next to you.
Yes.
Hi, Toby.
Hi, Send. Do you cast Dota often?
I've cast a lot in the last week and a half.
It's good. Glad you're shaking off the dust after being a player.
After. Okay. Simultaneously.
Simultaneously casting and playing. Sorry.
There you go.
I'll take that back. All right. Let's get a feel for this game, man. Lane wise, are we actually running the budget Phoenix on the off lane? He doesn't have the sunny side up egg, the Karkor, and Partos. So we got the IO as well as Anna together. They are going to run the safe lane, and Thompson is running the Ember. So,
Yep.
do you fully agree with that though? Like it's like it feels like you're praising Anna a lot.
30
for his
I-
Ember.
Yeah, I think it's still the right thing to do. The way OG play the game, Topson plays high tempo in this mid lane, and this game, if he were to play PL, it's different from how OG have generally structured their game plans. So I was expecting that this could happen. It's kind of funny that it happens in their absolute first game of the playoffs. Ana plays a great PL. It's one of his best heroes as well. So they OG definitely got comfort picks, but it seems that this draft was a bit different at least, though. They got pressure.
Yeah. That's what everyone's been wondering about, right? Like, what's going to happen once OG actually starts to be more contested? Like, once their draft has to change, and they just get a straight-up draft win. But this at least I was hoping was going to be a good game. Like, out of all the games in the group stage, OG versus Kinguin went an hour and had over 100 kills when they played.
That's the kind of Dota we want to see.
Hell yes.
Now, this bottom lane, I want to talk about a little bit because obviously Kinguin went into this game planning to go for this Phoenix Void opener. I don't think Phoenix is that good against Io in lane. You would think it's great because of the Fire Spirits, but generally the way it goes is that you Fire Spirit both heroes. And Ana doesn't really care about taking a bit of damage because JerAx is healing them both all the time. So half the Fire Spirits are kind of wasted in damage output. That's one of Io's biggest strengths, is that you kind of just more than double the region you have in the lane. He's taking a good beating here, JerAx, but he will be fine. Obviously, the Void not slowing him at all when he's tethered to PL.
Yeah, and also with the changes, this bottom lane seems like it's just like a straight up like, how do you actually be aggressive if you take out the Fire Spirits, the Phoenix? How are you meant to be aggressive with the nerfs to the Night Stalker?
You can't win this lane until it's nighttime. I feel
So
like
you just accept it's a CS trade-off, and
yeah,
that your other lanes will do better. Because the mid lane's a fun one, actually putting Nisha's Underlord against the Ember Spirit.
Oh, I like that, yeah. Nisha is one of the only players to play mid Underlord. He does a really good job on this hero. I remember seeing it quite a while back. He used to play it a lot in pubs, and I think he's played it once or twice in officials too, maybe even more. Oh, Spirit Breaker charge. Good harassment onto Silencer. This should be first blood, actually.
There's no more mana though for No-Tail, but okay, when you get the bash from Seb, that'll work.
Easy tip.
He always prays the RNG gods. He even got that earlier bash so he could steal the bounty rune on the top lane
And
previously.
he just bashed that CS. His bashes are out of control.
Hey, that's why you go level 1 bash, right? Not charge. Lane presence.
Well, if you can bash whenever you want, it's a pretty strong skill.
Mm.
Another thing about this lane is you can't really pressure Spirit Breaker very easily. He's such a tanky laner. I think he's the hero in Dota that has the highest physical EHP level 1. Super high health and high armor.
So you were asking for that from the last pick of OG, right?
Yeah.
Actually having a hero that can tank through the Chronosphere. But it's also that hero I was looking for from Seb. Like, you don't have the bashes. They completely banned him out, but they needed to have some kind of lane rotation bash pressure. And up against all the melee heroes, rotating on Nisha should be a lot easier. Or you just like full out initiate on the Silencer, who's been a pain in the butt to No-Tail. That's actually a kill. That's Nisha. That's yeah, Alicia dead.
Oh, it's gonna jump in. Good bash.
Oh, the block.
He's gonna die.
Seb actually keeps him out with yeah. But exotic
You
here,
want another bash
extra
here?
bash with the charge. He doesn't have time walk available.
Oh my god.
My god.
Yeah, that's a tip. I feel like he deserves it. Well played.
I thought it was meant to be changed out of it. There's 17% still.
The Silencer against Skywrath Mage is actually a kind of cool idea, because Skywrath wants to spam spells, but when you're hit by Arcane Curse, you keep taking damage, so the trade-off is actually not even that great for you anymore. Oh, but look at this mid lane, how destroyed Topson is getting by Underlord. He ended up wasting his salve earlier. He used it and took damage after half a second from a Firestorm, so now he has to send out a second one, and Nisha's just owning him on CS. This is a very Underlord-favored lane. I don't think there's much Topson can do.
With their rotation, like with their farm going into Nisha as well, like does he still go the normal off-lane kind of build, where you have the pipe, you have the sustain for your team from the Underlord?
I definitely think he should, yeah. Get some big team items. It's the whole plan they have for their lineup, right? They want to 5-man team fight with their Underlord. So get Crimson Guard against PL and Ember. It's a fantastic item. Pipe is fine too. I actually struggle to see OG winning fights if Underlord gets very farmed. They kind of need to start snowballing relatively early with their high-tempo heroes, Spirit Breaker and Ember.
The only concern I would have though is that Chronosphere timing. Like, how much damage can they do during this? Because Exotic Deer's like his CS isn't bad, but he needs a good progression. This top lane's getting more and more problematic for him.
Phoenix is exceptional at dealing damage in Chrono. It's probably the highest damage output hero, output support you can get in a draft if the enemy team is locked down. It has so many damage sources. Sunray is exceptionally strong. I would imagine we see Castor maybe go 1-2-4 build in this game. See if that it does end up being his choice.
Yeah. Or if they just turn into full lane pressure earlier on. Where's that 5-minute rune gather from OG? They were so
2
good.
for 2.
They were so good contesting almost all of them during the group stage. So we need to have like rune percentages available.
That would
This
actually
ain't
be
no
cool
main
to see.
cast.
I feel like they've got a decent amount as well. I would guess something like 60% maybe 65, which would be really high. If you get 3 runes every time on average, that's 75. But, you know, an extra one every second time. Oh, going to be charging
going
Potter's
up to-
bottom. Decent amount of damage.
Yeah. They don't really have a lot to just keep the pressure on. Remember, this is still this is still nighttime. And Karkor is not that far away. Like, he can just Icarus dive in with the Spirit, so it's still a difficult gank. And Notel and Seb, this top lane, feels like Notel always has to come in range of the Silencer, who causes more problems. Now puts the Observer Ward down to see more. But Exotic Deer, okay, they're bringing more help. Phoenix has actually come towards the top lane. They want to kill Seb. His charge is on cooldown for a little bit of time, so they curse him, they silence him, and they're looking for an extra +2. Seb, yes, charged, but still silenced. Tanking through this with a strength treads, but it's not going to be enough. That's the first +2, but they can't dive for the extra. Oh, okay.
Oh, if he
Unless
would have got a
time lock.
bash there. Exotic Deer went for it.
Got bash, they could just chain into the curse.
This build from No-Tail is very unusual nowadays, actually. He went for 2 in Arcane Bolt and 1 in his concussive shot. Most of the times nowadays we see Skywrath mages max concussive, but
Ooh.
No-Tail is favoring
Seb.
this early harassment. Oh, another bash!
That's deep.
Surprise!
Yeah, when he gets the extra one, sure, but he can't attack under Fire Spirits. Oh, he's actually going for No-Tail?
Oh.
There's some good burn damage.
No-Tail's still fine here. Found the D ward. They made it pretty obvious that they had lane vision there.
And No-Tail almost feels like AUI Zeus. Partos is in a lot of trouble on bottom. Anna, no lands, and no dive.
They
Even
took the
with an IO
tower,
behind
though.
you.
7-minute
Yeah.
tower with IOPL. Nobody came down to help Patos, and they've just been playing super aggressively.
His CS is like the CS on bottom lane. You're talking about like how great the CS was for mid lane with Nisha, but everyone's caught up on OG. And this movement from Kinguin just hasn't really come out. I'm wondering if this is because you don't have Void with level 6 yet. They just focus on trying to kill off the top lane. They're going again for Seb. Extra locks,
He's
extra
gonna be fine, I
control.
think.
Yeah, the raindrops actually give him enough protection. Icarus dive forward, Karkor, that's a little deep. Charge back, gets the hit. And No-Tail brings the extra damage.
Oh, that's-
Seb survives.
It hurts when you die when you go on a 3-on-1 and you don't get a kill. That's pretty bad. That's a lot of resources expended. In the meantime, OG are just pressuring your lanes. Bottom lane, they're dealing
Oh,
damage
they got
to
the
the
lock.
two. Oh, they got him.
Exotic Zero actually got a punch on him. He got the time lock out. You put 3 points into it, you hope you got it at some point.
Radiant's top
I'm
And that
surprised
gives,
he chose to
that
stay
gives
there.
Void 6.
That was already a great trade for them. Oh, he was 1 creep away from 6. Maybe he just wanted to get it. He could have got it a lot more safely. So a bit of a mistake there from Matt, but he's going to TP up straight away. We now have a level 6 on Void, but the damage should not be there just yet. Phoenix only level 4, so the damage that they do have in Chrono is very slow. They might still try
Well,
for
they're
it
gonna
here.
Yeah, do they just let
Well.
it go? Seb back under the tower. Yep, they'll do it. Sunray's out.
TP.
TP support's coming back. Io, can he actually save him? With the extra regeneration, Seb charges forward, and yeah, GRX brings it, and the balls, and Thompson, he's also rotated up. The quick spirit jump forward. Talking about quick, he's already hasted up. It will be Seb dying, however, as Alicia cannot finish off GRX.
He
So
got
a
the kill with
+2
Arcane
for a
Curse.
silencer.
Yeah, he got the kill with Curse, I guess.
Yep.
Anisha's going to take as much advantage of this as he can, pushing the mid-tier 1. Dealing some decent damage here, but Ana is back here to defend. So OG, after taking this bottom tier 1 tower, will be looking to rotate their heroes around a bit, put some pressure top. We saw Thompson just make his first move. I would imagine Ana wants to go up there relatively soon, instead of sitting here mid, because he's not going to enjoy this lane. This Underlord is Really, really farmed. He's thick, Toby.
Oh wait, no, that's meant to be thick is a good thing in America, right? My bad. I'll take it back.
All right.
Well, they still doesn't stop Seb from charging him. Who cares about how big Nisha is? I suppose there's no Chronosphere as well to punish him. They come in for the 10-minute bounty runes. They start their posturing already.
This is tough against Night Stalker, though.
Ana, quick doppel, jukes it out with the illusions, trying to battle for the rune. Karkle still actually got it. Support. Where is it? Io's nearby. And Ana, actually, does he have a? No, he's not.
They
I thought
actually
T-Rex
didn't
could have
know.
tethered in for it.
They didn't know that they had the right guy. He double faked them out. He ran the illusion back in and back out, and they started doubting themselves. But if they would have kept committing there, they might have actually killed Ana. He had a couple of stick charges on Jarex on the way rotating in, but might have been a chance. So what was that? 3 for 1 rune. 3 runes go away.
Thompson's rotating. He's playing the Ember up on top to perfection with the help of Notel, and they relocate in Ana. They want Partos. They're taking everything they can. 4 heroes underneath that tier 2 tower. Make it 5. Seb's going to arrive. He's got 6, but he doesn't go after the Phoenix.
They only bring Wisp back to bottom, so the rest of the squad stays up here as 4. And it's going to cost them the mid tower. Nisha really taking advantage of this situation. So I don't know how good this trade is for OG. They just lost a really key tower to just get a support kill and an offlaner. And Nisha just going to keep stacking up here. He has Vanguard. He's not going to buy Arcane Boots. I'm imagining he maybe wants to go Greaves at some point here with those. And now he's going for a Hood.
They may have stuck around trying to look for that window of opportunity against Exotic Deer. Because he had Chronosphere on cooldown for 10 seconds after that kill happened. And they saw him back near the tier 1 tower. So may have been their mindset. Train of thought.
I would like to see him skill Time Dilation at least 1 point. I don't like this 204 build in general. I think most times with Void you really want the high level Time Walk. It's what makes the hero, except Chrono. And at 1 point Time Dilation would have been super good against a hero like Skywrath Mage and Ember, who are very cooldown reliant and have a lot of, you know, high impact ult casts.
They got him with the Chronosphere. Ember Spirit needs some help. Then maybe he's got enough damage onto the Faceless Void. They can get it, but no, they can't. Spirit Breaker charging forward into the entire team and also into the pit. And the Nova. Double combinations just hitting easily from Kinguin. And OG lose 2 big cores in the top river.
Yeah, Seb tried to help out, but ended up being a mistake in that situation, as his Ember was already dead. Io had no way of connecting to that, it looked like. Maybe TP was on cooldown, maybe he didn't have any regen left. He has no bottle charges, no stick charges. And, yep, if Thompson isn't covered there, he will die. The charge assistance was a bit too late, and they both get taken down. So great move from Kinguin. They also paid for it, though. They used Chrono and Global, so this is like a weak point of their timing. Fortunately, it's nighttime at least, so Night Stalker can do stuff. But they're a bit limited in options for the next minute and a half.
I think you'll still be happy to take the trade with the, like, yeah, you burn 3 huge ultimates, but you're getting a lot of space across the map. OG is definitely gonna be thinking twice about being aggressive, and I'm still seeing Nisha getting fatter and fatter. He's got the Hood of Defiance as well as the Vanguard. Now looking into Radiance next.
The concern that I have for the Dire lineup is if Void doesn't scale, even if this Underlord gets really big, do they actually have the damage? Oh, well, speaking of damage, OG definitely has it.
That seal lasts long enough. They push him out of the Mystic Flare, but it's okay. He had no Nova, and they had the damage follow-up.
Oh, this Soul Ring on Io for Skywrath is the dream. No-Tail was out of mana a moment ago. Now he has 400. Just getting Soul Ringed and being tethered up for that extra mana regen.
So it actually allows No-Tail to go in no boots, like no arcanes. He's just double null and a stick.
You know, if you're position 5 Skywrath, every little bit of gold actually matters. This hero is most often run as a 4, but as a 5, you're kind of starved for those items.
They're going up to Seb. Relocate saves available. Girax is holding it because they already used their stun.
That early Void gives him an easy TP out, and he's ready to charge again. So what do we have now? We have a Diffusal and PL. Wondering when we're going to see that being put to use by OG. If they want to look for a mid-play, maybe at the next daytime.
Ah! Alright, Sentry's down. They know they've already got the Observer Ward that was deep, so simple smoke for Kinguin. defensive observer ward from OG won't scout out anything, but if it's Jirax to be the one to die, they'll probably be happy with that. Observer ward on the hill, they see Jirax, they can just get the control out. And he actually starts his TP again. They have an extra stun? Yeah, they do.
If they didn't get a bash there, he would have lived. Oh dear.
Well, Nisha still had the pit, like, he was holding it.
That doesn't cancel TPs, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. But any kind of control, any kind of damage, you look for something. Seb, they have it on him.
Nice
The
charge.
pit won't catch him. That line. What is he actually charging down towards?
Oh, right now it's a void. Oh,
Yeah.
Scareth.
Global Silence is out. Scareth has got the distance. Thompson can potentially turn with that double damage rune. There goes the boy with his Chronosphere, chasing down onto the Io, and he has the damage output. No, he doesn't. Can't finish the job inside the Chronosphere. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off. Thompson, a little bit stranded with the Night Stalker. The friends are coming over. PL's rotating off the bottom lane finally.
I think he could have. Did he have chains cooldown?
He's
Oh, he got
rushing.
silenced by last word.
They're going up to Pardos underneath the shrine. As quickly as he regenerates mana, it gets burned down by Ana, who has that diffuser blade. He's going to lance forward. Pardos will fall, and now it's Nisha. With no mana of his own, we'll just see how tanky an Underlord can be. With this, probably not that tanky. Look for the bashes. He tried to get the pit off, but it's just not possible. Help comes in from the Phoenix, but is this just going to feed another kill? They just keep chasing him down. He is damn tanky. But the Nova is committed. OG is now out of range. And they can turn around to go back in again. Seb
nice
charges
charge.
forward, goes right through both the Phoenix into the Faceless Void. They'll turn the Sunray on to give Exotic enough life. No, he still can't
Castle's
jump out.
dying to an
The
illusion.
illusions are actually doing the job from PL
One
to
illu.
get the kill.
He burned through almost all of his own health to try to keep him alive with the Sunray, and this one illusion just bashing away at him, and it actually ends up getting the kill on him. And that looked like it was going to be pretty good for Kinguin. I felt like OG starting that entire fight going for the Underlord is really questionable. He's so ridiculously tanky that it's very easy for the Dire to bring in help, but there just wasn't enough in the tank with that Chrono from Void getting onto the Io. Nobody else was able to deal damage, and he can't solo yet. Void is a really weak hero at this stage of the game, especially after the laning stage he had. He needs someone to deal the damage for him.
He said it was meant to be Phoenix, but it just
Phoenix
didn't really
wasn't there.
seem to exist.
Yep. And Phoenix
Now
has
they're going to
gone
move
for
up
a-
towards the top lane. OG keeping the pressure on. Nisha wants to try and defend the tier 1 tower, but as 3 heroes coming in, they'll charge under the tower. Thompson already begins with the Searing Chains. They can get the pit off. And he's going to have to use already the defensive hood. But now that's already down, but walks out. Oh, yeah, that missing
Nice,
flare does
they-
nothing, no tail.
Almost got him
But they
down
take
to
the tier 1 tower.
2/3.
Wait, are they actually able to turn this? Nether Strike, Nisha, push back. He's losing these mana again. These PL illusions with the early diffuser blade just making it difficult for Underlord to have a presence, apart from sit there.
It's good for him that he has a Soul Ring, so he can like Soul Ring pit at least. But playing Underlord without mana in fights is rough. He still has his aura at the very least, but you want to ideally be able to cast your spells multiple times. The Firestorm, the 12-second cooldown, is a big part of this hero in fights. And realistically, if they keep going on him like this, he will only have one. And Ana is starting to pull ahead by a lot on PL right now. That's good news for OG here. Looked like the laning stage went pretty evenly, but they've started to gain a lot of ground. And mainly really can be attributed to how poorly this Void's lane went. He's struggling.
It didn't even really seem that bad, at least on the CS. It's just, I'm wondering if it's more down to the fact that the Chronosphere was just delayed so much. Like, they never rotated out. They never were able to find their ganks nice and quickly. The first rotations came from OG. And it was a big one underneath the tier 1 tower when Thompson was able to just get involved too.
Yeah. Thompson now has a Yules, so the first counter to Global Silence has been picked up. He's still going to die in a Chrono, though. Not much is going to save him from that apart from an Aeon Disc later, but so far he is planning to go for a Maelstrom, and he's going to go from there.
Do you actually need much more of a save than like Maelstrom Blink Dagger? Just blink out the Chronosphere when he comes close?
Well, if you have the luxury of seeing him coming in, then sure, but he's building a Shadow Blade, so I think when this Shadow Blade comes out, Ember has to buy a disc. There's actually no other item, and there's no save. Sometimes you could be like, oh, you can just have Io in the proximity, but he's going to get global. So you have to be able to protect yourself. That's what this Kinguin Silencer pick has managed to do. Apart from that, however, it hasn't done all that much. So they kind of need to find these team fights that favor the silencer. And it seems to be
the silencer doing his job against Notel. He's gone very deep. Planning observer wards down. They had their double sentries.
Bounty Rune's about to come up, so OG are
Already
at least
in
covering
position.
the top 2. They are nowhere near the bottom rune, so this should be another even 2-for-2 trade-off, and this Bounty Rune also means that nighttime is about to begin. So NS will be a lot stronger now, once again. Guys
Actually,
level 12.
bounties and towers, because that tier 2 tower's under heavy pressure. That's the reason why OG aren't down on those bottom runes at all. But can they fight this? It looks like Ana still doesn't want to get involved yet. Yeah, he just finished up the Manta style, so he's got his own little answer to the silencer.
Yeah. I think OG are content with keeping on farming for now. While pressuring lanes, of course. Well,
Ember.
their chrono.
Yule Scepter's up. They silenced him when he was in mid Yule Scepter, so there was no way for Thompson to actually get away from this.
They chain silenced him so hard there. Global into Night Stalker silence inside the Pit of Malice, and no chrono needed for that kill. Very
Jirax
nicely
needs a
done.
friend. Okay, he's got a creep wave.
He's got a creep in need.
Well, Partos. Notel's gonna find him. Concussive shots out. And into the Mystic Flare. Notel, difficult to survive with that Spirit Vessel on him, so he just turns around into the Sunray. Doesn't have that SP 15+ to protect him. But Ana, he'll go for more. He's got the damage, but then again, Chrono, he has to get through the illusions. Jirax comes in with the tether to give him a little bit more life. Doppelganger's a little bit further forward, just trying to make sure that Alicia is taken out of this fight. No +2s for anyone. Exotic Tier can try and hide. Does anyone else have detection? No, they don't. That Shadow Amulet's actually
Hitting
giving him
so
the protection he
hard with the
needs, but
DB.
Nisha just cannot survive. Alicia has to buy back to try and be involved in this fight. And Nisha, he'll survive. The Shadow Amulet protects him. That's the one from Exotic Tier. They don't see him. Undercover, does anybody have some kind of AoE to help him out? Nope. All right, well, charge forward. Go after the Phoenix into the Nova. That won't be a protection. That's only death. Exotic Tier, he's bouncing up towards the Io, who can tether himself away to safety. Not to mention, Tops has joined the fight. A triple kill for Ana. They've kited this fight absolutely perfectly, OG. Kinguin, they wanted some kind of answer, but they've got nothing. And maybe they've actually got the kill, the charge forward!
Oh
It's going
my
to actually
God,
cancel the TP of Nisha! Seb was just going to the lane. Now Nisha is isolated. Io is going to TP over to try and help out so they can actually have the life to battle against Nisha in the trees. But he's isolated. And they'll have the damage to get through him. They scan.
Oops.
You already know this. They are there. And Ana will come in for his extra kill. 4 wasn't enough. Give him 5.
Wow. That double damage rune on PL paid off in a big way. He got like 2 or 3 kills very early in that fight. What I like about Ana's play was that he was just isolating and killing off the right targets. He blows up the Night Stalker in the river first, jumps up, immediately takes down Phoenix's mana so fast that the Supernova doesn't go off. After that, he just straight continues onto the Silencer, just grabbing those easy, quick kills first. And even though there's some huge Shadow Amulet plays from the Dire, when their supports are dead, they just don't have damage. They actually really need this Phoenix to be able to cast, and he's just getting run at by the PL. It's a pretty bad matchup for Phoenix. You can get out of the Fire Spirits, you can easily destroy the egg because you can charge it, and you can just remove, Fire Spirits while you're charging in. And you're hard to isolate with the Sunray. The Chronosphere Sunray combo has to land for Kinguin, or the lineup just doesn't kill anyone.
And we're seeing exactly that. At least there's still 30 kills within the space of 23 minutes, but majority goes to OG. And experience cracks 11, 12k. It seems like a simple game for OG to execute.
Ana's so
But that's
big.
what
like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at this net worth distribution. He's
Well, they gave him
5,000
so much.
ahead.
They gave him so much space. Like every single fight that came out, like it felt like Ana was always just dodging to the opposite lane until you hit that 15-minute mark. And come to think of it, that's kind of what OG was doing in every single group stage game. Create space for Ana by having Thompson just rotate around with the rest of the team. Critical item arrives, which is Diffuser Blade, and Ana gets involved. And now we've got Naya, who's going to grant the Aghanims bonus.
Who is he going to give that to? The PL,
No-tail?
I guess.
You just give it to Notel for... Actually, no.
The Axe on Skywrath is no joke, but I think you kind of have to tether the PL the majority of the time. So he's going to get that AoE lance, or the bouncing lance rather. Pretty nice. Get a lot of illusions very fast.
Oh, Seb, they're jumping in on the bottom lane. Ana just goes in. He's holding that Manta style. He's got so much life, he knows he can get away with this. Even doppelgangering into the Pit of Malice. I don't know if that's sending a message.
I think Ana right now is looking at the situation. Is like, there's no way I die if I'm not chronoed. And if I'm chronoed, I have an Aegis. So he's just trying to force the enemy team around. Like, this is classic new OG, I want to say. Putting pressure. Just aggressing these heroes, making them respond to their moves. And if they don't like it, they just back off. They got a lot of rotation there. They got information. Multiple heroes were coming over to pressure Ana back. And meanwhile, OG are just getting 4 bounty runes. So, nicely done.
Watch the money go through the roof. Thompson's already finished up his Maelstrom.
I would imagine
they're charging into Nisha. Underneath the tower. Nisha's already having TP support coming in the form of the Silencer. The rest of Kinguin were moving top. Looking for a fight. And Ana, oh my god, this confidence. You pick up a heart, you doppelganger forward, and then you look for your first target, and he looks instantly for Karkor. He wants that Phoenix taken out of this game. Icarus dive down and back with the Manta Illusions. He can actually kill up. No, the Chronosphere! He gets it off in time, so the Nova will finally connect. The refresh up from Phoenix too, and then the follow-up Global Silence. They'll burn the Aegis Immortal. Seb's already lost his life as the Ember Spirit. Your Scepter breaks free of its own silence. Io relocating in, bringing in that Phantom Lancer to move forward and then just charge in. Kinguin have already blown their entire load of abilities and they're going to lose themselves inside the base. The Orb Attack, Faceless Void, 18 HP. Exotic Deer drops down to. They are diving underneath tier 4 towers. They haven't even taken the tier 2s. But Ana burns off all the mana of Nisha. He knows he can regenerate. And he knows there's nothing to threaten him, apart from the inability to doppelganger down a wall.
Yeah, he was fine there. If he would have died to that, that would have been really bad RNG. But he ends up getting out. That was a nice execution from Kinguin, though. They ended up getting this combo that they've been looking for the whole time with a Supernova with Chrono on top. Very classic combination that can deal with the PL. And if it's not for the Aegis, they just destroy this fight. But of course, OG playing this aggressively because they have that Aegis. And PL got a lot of job done once again, but that didn't really progress the game much for OG. The gold advantage is still the same as it was. They actually lost a little bit of gold going into that fight. So good hold from Kinguin. And when you look at OG's lineup, you imagine they won't try to go high ground until the next Roche at least.
I finally solved my problem, which I didn't realize I had until I checked Twitter. I'm now talking inside the game.
Oh, nice. Did you put on plus voice record?
Oh.
Well, that's a dead silencer.
He's got some time with the defensive Yule Scepter, but then again, no, he's got no time. Sleight of Fist will do the work, Partos on the run. And God for face boots and high movement speed, but better for Thompson. He's got the ability to jump from spirit to spirit, and now it's daytime again, underneath the tier 2 tower. Goodbye. Quick and easy kills for OG. I actually don't know how they lose this game now.
We need some sort of really big team fight out of Kinguin. Now they finally get this Crimson Guard that's going to help a lot against PL. I don't know if I like the order Nisha built his items in, because he was in such a great position to get an earlier Crimson. But he went Vanguard Hood and then Radiance, but his Radiance got delayed because of his 2 deaths, and the Crimson might have even prevented 1 or 2 of those. So
I wonder, like, with his item build, like, if he should have gone a little bit less selfish, because everything was self-protecting, right?
I think the Crimson Guard earlier would have been really good in this game because he's against the PL mainly. You're still going to get your mana burnt, but you can keep your team alive so that these combos can come out. When you saw how these team fights played out, his teammates just died way too fast, and if he has a Crimson Guard, he can protect the Phoenix so he can get Supernova off, he can protect the Silencer. And everything that takes longer for OG is favoring Kinguin's chances of setting up a successful team fight. It's mainly just these first 5 to 10 seconds where Ana is going crazy that they're getting run over in. If they can keep their heroes alive a bit, then
I don't think they can once you see the item build that Ana's going for with a Silver Edge.
He's getting that against Underlord specifically to remove Fiora and bring him down.
Yep. Without that tank, without that survivability, we talked about like how Nisha can do it earlier on, but now it seems impossible, and then you still got to get through like 3.3k HP and 34 armor on a Phantom Lancer. That's without anyone else's buffs on him. And without the assistance of the IO. Is Ana trying to juke this out so hard with his illusions? There's 2 just sitting in the lane. It's like he's trying to bait out Chronosphere. Or bait out something.
Oh, Night Stalker finds him. Well, easy Manta.
Yeah. Very quick Manta. Also used the doppelganger very early on to get up the hill and away, but then the Sleight of Fist. Phoenix! You can't walk through that. The army of PL, you shall fear evil. Seb just charges forward. They lock down the Underlord. Now they can isolate him and start the burning of the mana. The buyback's already come in from the Phoenix. He knows he needs to be part of this. The Chronosphere, where is it going to come in? The Skyrath Mage just evaporates, but Seb goes after it. There goes the Nova into the back lines, but there's no mana onto the Faceless Void, so he could not Chronosphere at all. And they just waited it out. Nova is down, and this is just going to be an absolute slaughter on the bottom lane. The Syrian Chains means the Kinguin cannot escape. A quick Icarus dive away, but they just move from target to target. The illusions will come back down again. They want to try and finish off this Night Stalker. Io has lost his life, but really it's for the greater PL. A doppelganger away, dodging anything that Nisha wants to throw. This game really is over. There's no way to really sustain it all for Kinguin. They get burnt dry and they can't even Chronosphere.
Oh, Exotic Deer trying to get to the shrine to get mana for Chrono. Oh, wait, what just happened? Okay, he died.
Yeah, he ran over. He saw the Ember Spear. I was like, oh, maybe I can actually go on this, and walked away from it.
He was tread switching to Chrono the Ember, and then he changed his mind because Nisha had no mana, so they couldn't even have killed in the Chrono. And then he turns back to go to his shrine and gets charged at the same time, so the indecision basically killing him there. If he just stays at the shrine in the first place and just runs away, he might have been able to escape there, but OG run him down. And at this point...
You want to vote for the MVP and give it to the item of Diffusal Blade on Ana. Thompson just destroys the Silencer. Yeah, there is no more joy to be had in game one here for Kinguin. They are getting absolutely slaughtered inside their base. They seem to be really confident though with their drafting.
Yep.
The way they draft, they move real quick and they try to add a lot of pressure into the time against OG. So it made sense what they were trying to do.
They just got outplayed in fights more than anything. The laning stage this game actually went pretty okay for them, especially mid. Nisha was destroying Thompson in this mid matchup. But then you hit that 15 to 20 minute mark and OG just start playing really fast and they take fights and they play around their win condition, the PL, very well. This Supernova is not going to stay unless there's a Chrono, but he's changed and chained in the back line.
No way to really do anything. And Seb's just taunting him. He's not even attacking as he's jumping forward. Now he does it inside the fountain. I think the message is most definitely being sent to Kinguin. Ana is beyond godlike. Now the Faceless Void tries to actually hold the fight, but the Mystic Flare just pushed him away. Seb's able to survive as well inside the Chronosphere.
GG.
Yeah, you can kiss game one goodbye. This one belongs to OG.
You got the play you wanted in the end, Toby. He tethered the Skyrath Mage to get double silence, double Mystic Flare in that last fight.
Yay!
In the fountain. They did it in the fountain, Toby. 18-0 PL.
You know, this just brings back that wonderful memory of Faceless Voids that never got any farm and could do no damage in the Chronosphere. It's like watching a black hole with no follow-up. It just feels very underwhelming.
It's just the team fight of this Dire lineup is very specific. You need to make sure all of your heroes can connect on the play itself. If one guy is locked down, the whole play falls apart, right? And they did such a good job having PL either counter the Phoenix or the Void in most fights. There was only one fight where they actually both were able to cast their stuff, and if they don't combine, again, this Night Stalker pick for me completely out of place in this game, didn't really do much. I liked the silencer. It was cool and it was something different, and they actually got decent value out of it. Elisash was in 14 out of 15 kills for his team. Definitely got involved, but yeah, the rest of the team couldn't really follow through. So.
Oh boy, that was quite the game. It looked close for the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then Ana got his Diffusal Blade, and like you said, Toby, that was pretty much the MVP of the match, was just him burning mana from everybody in the game. Like you said, the Void, the Silencer, K-Core died numerous times to the Ana solo PL. He just ran over that game, essentially.
I think there's like a really big flaw in Kinguin's draft, and I was thinking about this when I was watching the game upstairs. If you look at the way that their lineup plays the game, how they win, essentially, is to Chrono into Global, right? Which is pretty straightforward. You Chrono a hero, you protect it with the Global, you get that kill, and then you supposedly get an objective off of that. But the problem is, if you get past like 20 to 25 minutes with this lineup, I don't actually see how you can possibly win the game with these heroes. Because if you Chrono Thompson, you kill him, okay, Ana's still alive. You Chrono Ana, Thompson's still alive. And when you have nothing left, you can potentially even get 4v5. Just because of the style of lineup that OG have, you can get kited around. There's not really a whole lot of hard catch outside of just that Chrono.
Yeah.
So what is your answer if you have like this Underlord who does really well in his lane, builds some team-oriented items, and then you just can't really get any towers. Like, what did they get? 2 towers that game? Something like that? 2 or 3
I
towers?
think like 2 tier
Maybe
1s.
2.
I don't think they got the top
Yeah,
tier 1. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
that
I'm not sure.
they got so caught up in the idea is, okay, the Underlord is a great matchup against the Ember, but that pick also pretty much just guarantees that you will not win a long game.
Yeah. In addition to that, you look at the Dire lineup and you just see if you want to force team fights and make stuff happen, you need to be able to push the waves. And you have 2 of your cores have atrocious wave clear. Like Void and Nightstalker are garbage at killing creeps.
Yep.
Silencer is okay if you max Arcane Curse, but it's not great. So Nisha kind of has to be that guy that's just Underlord wants to sit in his lane and push that wave for 10 minutes. Like just stay there, push, 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 and then eventually there's a team fight that he can join and be part of because he can't make the first move. But in this game, do they ever really push out the waves? You look at this OG lineup, Ana is constantly pressuring one lane. Topsnake is constantly pressuring another. And the third one, they just don't pay as much respect to because they don't need to. Like there's no, this top lane that's never really getting pressured by the Dire lineup. So it's okay that they just have an IO Spirit Breaker sitting there.
Yeah,
it didn't really matter.
I think it was pretty telling in the early game top where they went to Chrono Seb, and there were like 2 or 3 heroes there, and he just doesn't die. There's time for like a 5-second TP to go off from the Wisp, and then they walk away and get counter kills. So I'm just looking at that and I go, okay, if you can't push waves and your Chrono is how you win the game, and you can't even kill an offlane hero, I looked at that situation. I'm like, this game already seems impossible for them.
And going back to what you guys were talking about, well, like you have to have everything go right for Kinguin. Doesn't it just feel like OG's lineup is way easier to actually do stuff
It
with?
is.
I think it is.
And
Very
that just
easy.
makes it a lot harder for Kinguin to do anything. Like you have to rely on all of these abilities going correctly in order to actually get kills, which they had one time in that game, that one fight down bottom where they actually had everything go correctly, or around mid or wherever, but it didn't work out. So.
I think the worst pick of this draft is Nightstalker. I actually really think that is the core of the problem for the Dire. That doesn't mean the rest of their lineup is great, but he just doesn't fit in. You look at this lineup, what does Nightstalker do in this game? His only job and the only thing he really can do is go on IO. PL is a terrible matchup. Spirit Breaker is a bad matchup. Ember is okay until he has one item, and then that matchup is also not good anymore because he can actually catch you and kite you in the fight. And a lot of the time, Patos was just caught in chains this game. He didn't really get to go on anyone, so he can't deal any damage in Chrono. He can't push waves. Like, what does he actually contribute? He gives vision. You pick an off-lane hero to give vision.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. They need damage. Their lineup actually just doesn't kill heroes. That's how they lost.
Yeah. I mean, it was rough from essentially when they rotated the Phoenix top. They tried going for the kill like you talked about, Andy. Didn't work out, but pretty straightforward first game from OG. I would say they dominated for the most part.
Perhaps a power shot or something?
So I think...
That was some weird audio.
yeah.
What did I thought I heard guards.
I thought I
something
heard him too.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what he said, to be fair. I guess we're...
Pretty sure we were not supposed
Yeah, we're gonna.
to hear
I
him.
think we're gonna go for a break. I think. Yeah, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna get back into game 2 here in just a moment. So we'll be back in just a moment. Stick around, folks. We'll see you soon.